Okay, people. So I checked out Quasi. Right? So this is the new film that is obviously based on, right? The Victor Hugo novel, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Okay, so it is directed by Kevin Heffernan, written by Heffernan, Steve Lemme, Paul Soter, Erik Stolhanske, and Jay Chandrasekhar. Right, and you might recognize the names because they all comprise of the comedy troupe Broken Lizard. Okay, so the film is produced by Richard Perello. It's executive produced by Jay Chandrasekhar, Kevin Heffernan, Steve LeMay, Paul Soter, Erik Stokharsk, co-executive produced by Matthew Medlin and Peter Lengel, associate produced by Patrick R. Hefferman. Okay, so music is handled by Jason Akana. Joe Collins on cinematography, Frank McGrath edits the piece, Wendy O'Brien handled the casting, Bianca Farrow production design, art direction was Anne Calhoun, set decoration is Kelsey Fowler, Kelly Kwan handled costume design, and our cast. Well, obviously the troupe were all a part of the film. Brian Cox narrated everything. Steve LeMay is Quasi. He also played the jester. Jay Chandrasekhar was King Guy and Boulogne. Kevin Heffernan was Duchamp, Quasi's best friend, and Henry Francis. Paul Suter is Pope Cornelius and Lucian. Erik Stolhanske is Cardinal Claude and Michel. Buck Heffernan, Quinn Heffernan, Kelsey Heffernan were all villagers. We had Eugene Calderello, played Pascal. Marcus Henderson was Stefan. Michael Urak was Brother Gusp. Adrian Palicki is Queen Catherine. And Hassie Harrison is Margaret. Gabriel Lane is Emmanuel. Gabriel Hogan is the King's Guard Jonathan. Yeah, I think that's our main group of peoples, I would say. The gist of the story is we follow a hunchback who yearns for love, but finds himself in the middle of a murderous feud between the Pope and the King of France when each orders the hunchback to kill the other. So, yeah, this, I mistakenly thought this was the people that did the Bash Brothers, which was Lonely Island group, right? Got my comedy troops mixed up. But yes. Now we start off with, it's a little bit amusing at the beginning, especially I think the funniest thing all film for me was the expression on the cat's face. I like, ugh, who would want to be a cat in that period of France's history if this is anything to go by? That's all I gotta say. You know what I mean? But I think from there, Yes. From there, it just, I mean, the humor is, I think if you're a fan of, right, Broken Lizard, you'll probably enjoy all of this. You know what I mean? There's a lot, the jokes are kind of, school playground jokes. You know what I mean? It's just that kind of thing, right? There's the whole best friend bit, and it's just like, oh, but we're not really best friends. We're friends. We're acquaintance, which just went on and on and on. It was just like, okay, can we move on from this? You know, like, oh, Quasi, oh, you're a virgin. I'm not a virgin. Just all of that. It was just like, yeah, a little infantile, but it's a humor, right? It's a humor. If you enjoy that, boom, it's all great. It's all great. Uh, I think also it's one of those ones where like it's this historical piece, but doesn't really. Everyone's too clean, right? Everyone's too clean, right? When there's reference to Quasi supposedly smelling, but it doesn't really look dirty enough. You know what I mean? Then we've got there's a love story, but it's just why, right? You know what I mean? There's nothing to go, oh, that's why they would fall in. Like that's the, you know what I mean? I kind of needed a bit more there. Now, you may say I'm nitpicking. Maybe I am. But it's just, how I like a story. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we've got all of that. It's it's kind of long, right? It's kind of long. The film is how long is this goddamn film? It's just over 2 hours, right? It could have been a lot less. Could have, and I feel it should have been a lot less, unfortunately, people. Um yeah, probably like it didn't really need to be an 18. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. It just some of the stuff seemed thrown out there just to kind of be a little shock, a little ooh, saucy. They're using that language, And at the very end, we did not need to see that. We did not need to see that. God damn it. You know what I mean? It's just like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? That's just oh, don't eat before you watch this film. That's what I should tell you, motherfuckers. Do not eat before you watch this film because, boy, oh boy, right? Oh man, oh man. The acting. I mean, again, if you enjoy, stuff like what we got Super Trooper. You know what I mean? They did Club Dread, right? Beer Fest. If that's your jam, that kind of humor, then yeah, it it will be fine. And the acting in those films, right? If you enjoyed all of that, then this will work. Because it's like doing a voice. Everything just found a little bit too, again, a little bit too forced, like the king. It was just like, oh, I think we should do this. And it's just like, I mean, it's not really an accent, right? It's just you kind of talking loudly and overemphasizing shit, right? But, listen, not for me, but it could be for you, right? Could be for you. As said, if you're a Broken Lizard fan, then I am sure you will get a big chuckle out of Quasi, right? And it's not a adaptation of the Hunchback of Notre Dame, right? So they've taken that story and they've given it a different kind of twist. And they've thrown a load of different stuff in there. So yeah, don't expect a beat for beat Hunchback of Notre Dame, because that's not what this is. It's something a little bit different, just using those characters. So yes, it's available on Disney Plus internationally, Star, and yeah, domestically in the States you'll find it on Hulu. So yeah, if you want to check it out, there you go, people. Quasi.